this will be a reading for the week, just a general reading. So let's start off with Monday. I will say a lot of the Monday cards definitely jumped out onto the floor, and it was upside down, which I kind of, it's strange for me. They normally don't do that, and it's funny because I've got 4 decks, and almost all of them except for that one flipped upside down, and it's just sort of like, I guess I get the feeling like either one, you feel like things are upside down right now, and or things are starting through the universe to flip its head. You know, it's kind of like that chariot. Like there was this one chariot card, I forget what deck it is, but it's like there's these rabbits that they're on the water, and they're on this circular wheel thingy. Excuse my description, I know. And when you're on top, it's great because you're dry, but then it's sort of like, oh, that thing will naturally make you go underwater in a way. And now I suppose they could just sort of jump backwards maybe on top and then keep trying to go forward that way, but it's kind of weird. So I don't know. But it just kind of made me think of that, you know, like you're being submerged in, like you're getting your head dunked, you're getting submerged in water, you're having to deal with your emotions, you know. And you can see like the first 2 cards is like the 9 of Cups is supposed to be this happy card where you get to like, I don't know why I was thinking toss salad, but not toss salad. It's kind of like she goes, yeah, look at all this stuff I have. And then in reverse, it's like, where's all my resources? Like, what's happening? Where's all the things, you know? And then with this Knight of Pentacles, it's the, I get to leave behind. Like, I get to move on, but I'm also, what I've planted has grown. What I've planted continues to succeed without me. And I leave a trail of success. And in reverse, you're just feeling like, I'm making no impact right now. Like, I don't have either the money I want, the people I want, maybe even the schedule, so the time that you want. You don't have the fulfillment that you want. You don't have the authority. You don't have authenticity, you know. So your mind is like turning, and you're thinking, and you're trying to find solutions because you are this logical person who puts things in orders, and you do it naturally, and you're constantly quote unquote overthinking, but yet you run so smooth that people can't tell. And you're just kind of like, why don't people think about me? And why aren't people like taking their job as seriously as me? And sometimes the answer is they just can't. That's all it is. You know, that's hard for me to think about too, because I think of myself as average, and I wonder why people can't do the basics sometimes. And it's crazy. But now here's the flip side. So yeah, you can do all that stuff, but can you nourish yourself? Because that's what this little plant is. It can be the growth of a project, but before you even start that project, I suspect that you need to take care of your mind, body, soul, all that stuff. Eat healthy, sleep good, all the things they keep telling us over and over since we were kids. You know, the food pyramid, and they even, oh my God, speaking of like upside down, I've heard they flipped the pyramid, and it's the same pyramid, but it's just flipped upside down on its point. Yeah, it's that kind of life. It's kind of like that Mandela effect where you're like, I thought it was this. Why is it this? And maybe it'll flip again. I heard that some of the mandalas are flipping back to the way it was. You know, we're back in our original timeline, which also might mean you might have veered off path and now you're going back to your original path, meaning the one you were born to do. And maybe you were doing again what, you know, society needed you to fix. Of course, society wasn't going to tell you, hey, go chase after your passion. Go, you could be better. You could be, you know, maybe you could be moving up. Your supervisor's like, you're a good worker. Keep on working, you know? And here, I wanted to show it that way, actually. It's funny because it's like the sun is this bright, explosive, this energy, and that's you. That's what you have. But your light has been dimmed. And even like the way the light's falling on, it's like half and half. And this again is sort of not being able to, the devil card seems scary, right? But in reverse, think about how you have the passion and you can't move forward. It kind of goes to that, like you're not moving and you're not like leaving your footprint. You're not, making noise, stomping your feet. I don't know, because people can hear and see stuff like that. They need that, I don't know. And again, this kind of goes with the sun card, where if you are the magician, you have all these skills and these tools, this is everything. And again, you do it so smooth because magicians have to have that quick sleight of hand and the, you know, just all these things to come up with, like trick after trick after trick. Except for you, it's not a trick, it's a skill, it's a talent. But right now, you're just kind of like, what do I do with all this? Because what I'm doing with it now, it's being taken for granted. It's not fulfilling for me. And I don't know what to do moving forward with the talents that I've done, like, or the skills I have. So that's your Monday. It's very contemplative. Tuesday, I hate Tuesday. I'm sorry, I do. I wish it was better, but I do believe the first 2 days, and again, this is not for everyone. It's just for a few who are going through the struggles, and they're going through it because they're opening their eyes to it, you know. And that's a start. That's a start in itself. And sometimes when you do that, you see the quote unquote ugly first. You start to be disillusioned by all the rose. Oh my gosh, this is like, was a rose candle? It's melty, so you don't really see the rose anymore. And that's what's happening with your current situation. It's like the blinders have to come off. You can't keep ignoring that, people are blinding you, choking you, tying you, whatever it is. It has to come off. You can't ignore that you've been in the dark situation, and it's time to, let the light in. And it's time to stop being defensive. Hey, focus. It's starting to see, like, yeah, these guys, there's self-sabotage, and there is. And part of that is, if you believe what you've believed, you continue doing what you continue doing. So in that sense, you quote unquote self-sabotage by not being able to move forward. And you keep defending and being loyal to these people, yet they're attacking you, and then you feel all broken. It sucks. And mentally, you're mentally drained, you're mentally exhausted, you're mentally burnt out. You want to move, but again, see how he's just stuck looking at the past. And he's this is always like holding your passion stick, your speaking stick. And it's like you're just lighting the ways for others, and you're just protecting others. You need to protect yourself. And this is like having options, and you just have to move forward. Like, stop holding on, let these things fall, let them fail, go forward. There's good stuff ahead. You don't need to hold on to the structure of this old. If it fails, it fails. If it fails without you, it fails. Because that means, like, the whole team, the whole group, the whole whatever, like, they weren't doing anything and you were doing all the work. And why? And this moving forward is a nicer, younger energy, versus this is like a very, like, old and tired and rusty energy. Wednesday starts to get a little better. You start to see there is, again, it's giving that flipping energy. It's giving the, this is a nice card where it's the Fool. And this is several things. One could be you're not moving yet, but also you're realizing, yeah, I've been a fool, and like, let me reevaluate my my space, my environment, myself. And yeah, here you realize, yeah, those guys weren't so good for me. Let me protect myself. You're finally doing it. I'm going to put a bubble around my world. I'm not going to tell them what's up, what's next. I'm going to take care of myself first. And This, I love Wednesday because there's someone there for you. There's a portal coming through. It could be spirit guide is there for you. It could be spirit universe is sending you someone. Um, oops. And here's like the Four of Wand again, but it's so different from this one. You know, this one is like you're holding things up, and this one is sort of like you're being gifted with something, you know, like the world and others are holding it up for you. They're celebrating you, they're seeing you, they're being there for you. Um, and like at weddings, it's like, what do you have? You have large feasts, you have a large group of family and friends, you have like the whole day is your day. It can be exhausting, but it's a good exhaustion versus like when you're doing all the work for someone else and they're taking the credit, you know, or they're just burning you out and don't care about you. But this is different. Um, Sorry, my alarm's going off. It's so funny. Okay. This is again your day, you, all eyes on you, because, you know, going back to the sun, it's and you're the star. You're this it's like that Leo energy, you know, you're the celebrity. It's you, right? And then this is like a different kind of mirror from that kind of mirror. That kind of mirror is like seeing things for what they are, seeing who people were, seeing yourself, your situation. And this is like you can't see all the future, you get a glimpse. The other day someone was telling me like follow the breadcrumbs, but also, you know, you don't have to follow breadcrumbs. You can have cake. I don't know. It's just random. It's because sometimes, like, I like the idea of breadcrumbs because it's kind of like follow the little trail, but I also hate the idea of breadcrumbs because it's kind of like, oh, you just get leftovers versus the whole sandwich, the whole panini or something, or the whole baguette, the whole enchilada. I don't know. But this is nice, you know. It also gives the vibe of like seeing, like healing your chakra, ah, and seeing yourself, the beauty in yourself too, because it's very like mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, and it's you. You know, you have been the one that's fair. You have been the one that's been a beautiful soul, and you attract beautiful people coming forth. You'll attract a soulmate situation, whether it's love or business relationship or just friendship or whatever it is, you know? And this shows that. Like, here's two people who are evenly carrying the same amount and they're both evenly balanced. They're both trusting of each other. They're closing the eyes to each other, right next to each other. They're allowing each other to be that close to each other's space. So there's a very intimacy to it, you know. And again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be platonic, but it can be so healing, so meant to be, so fated, and um, it's a beautiful thing. Like you all are similar, but yet you look at the hair and it's like a subtle difference, you know. Um, and that's what's cool because you kind of need that, you know. And then on Thursday, you start thinking like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna do this, but what's next? What's next? I don't know what to pick. Like if I pick this, like what's under there? And then it's like you still have a little overthinking, but it's fine. Instead, turn it into dream and fantasy and play instead of like this high stress of like, if I do it wrong, my whole world collapses or something like that, you know? Because again, see, here's this where you're like, oh, okay, there, I'm gonna self sabotage, or, you know, because it's like this is covering the other ones who are holding the sword, and the swords are like over you, and they could fall and like stab you. But it's also kind of like I love how there's like a hidden one right here. And it could be like you still feel like you need to be protected, but in focusing on that, you're kind of like missing out on this guitar and getting creative. listening to different records and getting different messages, getting different inspiration, seeing these guys for the, you know, fun and artistic and strong versus like um enemies. I don't know, like how do I phrase it? It's, I guess, like someone said, like your old patterns. Like now that you see your old patterns, you might think that these old patterns go forth with you, and so there's a lot of fear because you're just kind of like, it's easier to deal with what I know than what I don't know. And if there's just this big old void of I don't know because I'm going to do something so completely different, then what? Well, guess what? Look at how she's resting. Look at how she's praying. Look at how the windows open, the lights being let in. And sometimes that's all you need first. And this is again, protect yourself, protect your resources, but yet also realize, look at how much coins you have. Like, have you ever taken stock? I took stock the other day and went, holy moly, I have more than I want. Granted, I'm not going to touch some of it because this also reminds me of like a nest, a bird's nest. And like, yeah, that's going to be my retirement nest. But I do have enough for now too. Like, don't forget that, you know? And this, again, back to not just the praying, but again, like the intuition, listening for your own intuition. What does your body want and need? Listening to others, again, through conversations, through songs, through whatever, and getting inspired, like, seeing how others have risen to this high level and seeing how you get there. Um, and again, teaming up and maybe seeing like, oh, this person does it that way, much easier. Why am I doing it the hard way? Let me do it that way too. Did I skip? Oh no, okay. This is your Thursday. I'm so unsure about Thursday, and I think it's because I'm so afraid of saying it, which is strange. Let me just show you your Thursday. It's kind of like a little bit of both. Okay, I think you might be cutting ties. Like you might be thinking you're gonna wait longer, and I think you're just gonna sever the tie, because you're just like, if I don't free myself, my true self can't come out because I'm just gonna still keep my energy here. So in order to move forward, I just had to do a clean charge, a clean cut, and go. And they're gonna see you as the black swan because they're like, this girl is crazy. She has nothing. She's just going off of her emotions. Like, she's so emotional, and yet you've been the logical one. And they've not taken care of your emotions. So that's on them if they see your emotions as dark and dirty. It's not for you to clean up. That's their problem. And this is both defeat and victory. I know it's strange. Normally this is my victory card, but this is defeat and victory here. And the reason is, in order to have won in the past, whenever you win a war, someone dies. It sucks to say, but someone does. And in this situation, it's you. You sacrificed yourself, your soul in the path. And that's why you were in the darkness. Because remember, like, a lot of these cards were reversed, and even like the sun's in the darkness. And it's different from being like here, in the night, and thinking and seeing and silencing and using your six senses, or six plus senses, And you move forward, defeated, dejected, wounded, bloody. That's what the red reminds me of. You move forward with sort of like, damn, like the whole ground, earth is destroyed, and it's just rubbles left. Thursday and Tuesday have a bit of mirroring in that sense. But yeah, I think you do it. I think you move forward and you sever it. And then, oh, I am stepping on a card. confirmation. That was the card I was stepping on. And see, it's moving forward. Things are moving forward. With the swords, we have like sword and sword. It could be, for some of you, just the idea. But I think for many of us, because these last ones, you've got like wands and emotions, you might just break and snap decision and I quit. But the good news is the weekend is awesome because I meant to do this as just weekend, but it kind of kept coming out as 2 cards, so it's kind of very Saturday, Sunday-ish. And I love Saturday. I'll show you the bigger picture of Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is hanging out with friends and family and just putting yourself back out there. Again, this was celebrating yourself. And this is, again, allowing that. Because if you don't go with people, how can they enjoy your presence and how can you enjoy theirs? Because you've been so stuck in my work environment, for instance, or whatever your situation is so toxic, you forgot family and friends, for instance. Okay? And that, see how the mind is now lit up? That's the key to moving forward. And it could be, again, people you do know, which is up and above, which is a lot more familiar and safe. But it could be new people, and these new people could be introduced by the people above, and they will be with you. Like, they will be side by side fighting with you, for you. They will see you as a king or leader. Again, like, you're to be celebrated. Where did it go? Why did it go so far back? Don't go too far back, you guys. Let's go for it. And it's nice. You feel emotionally filled. See how all this is the 9 of Cups. See, I thought it was giving like 9 or 10 of Cups vibe, but this whole time I also kept thinking 6. I don't even know why I was thinking 6, and I'm like, it's way more than that. Oh, I love it. See, now your cup is really filled, and you're seeing that there's many ways of that cup being filled. Mentally, emotionally, physically, getting back into hobbies, getting back into eating good, getting back to working out, again, all that, getting your time back, getting all that stuff. And see, this world sometimes is like the Chariot card to me. And this is, again, like, now your world is complete because now you've moved forward, things are moving forward, the world is giving to you, and you are receiving, and you're getting, like, you haven't given up too. Like, you're with these people, you're part of it, You're not just there receiving. And the more you give, the more you receive, and vice versa. It's this infinite loop, like this one shows you. And each loop is a different layer. It's a good, like, seeing different things. And there's this part of me that kind of wonders too, because here you've spiraled up. Like, you're not just going around in a, like, how cars do these stupid, like, they do the donuts, and you're just like that pass, that old loop is stupid. And then, like, this one is, again, up leveling. And as you up layer. Okay, the reason, okay, that makes sense why layer. How onions have layers? The world has layers. You have layers, others have layers, and that's what you're seeing with the world card. And again, this is like, goes back to this victory where it was empty, but now it's not empty. And you have these people here. And I dropped, okay. And what's cool is, okay, so I called myself the intuitive lantern because it just felt right that I felt like I got tingles when that thought came to me, and I've never thought to think like of myself as an intuitive lantern, but it makes sense because I've helped shine light for friends and coworkers and family and others, and I don't know that I'm doing it until other people point it out. Like I had an insight discovery, and then they were like, "You're a yellow, and you have to remember you're a different kind of visionary where people feel good about being themselves and being seen." And this is like reminding me to like make sure I light my own light and I'm seen, and like also reminding myself of who I am truly and what I can do, and that it matters, and that I was born with this. Because like, and you too, like you're born with whatever it is you have. Like this came from your past life, this came from all the years of wisdom, like from yourself and all the people who you've lived your past lives with and stuff like that. And it goes back to, you know, having been the magician, like having, yeah, you've been a magician then, you are a magician now. And um, sorry, I got distracted because I do have an alarm. It is like 5 a.m. right now. I have an alarm to wake me up, but I woke up way before that. Okay, so what's cool is, what's next is, again, going back to being that little magician, that magic person is what I really want to say. But like starting new and young and fresh, and like it's okay, because don't worry, like even if you took a pay cut, you'd build it up fast. But also, actually, yeah, I feel like there will be sort of a pay cut, and it could be because maybe you're working part-time instead of full-time. But if you worked full-time, you would get the full pay. But at part-time, you're kind of like, let me learn first. I'm okay like with what the part-time cut or pay is, because I don't mind being an apprentice, which is what this reminds me of. Like I'm happier being there. Like I get to see what's going on. I get to stop and smell the roses, or flowers. I get to take a little mental break as an apprentice, and I get to leave behind like my past armors of just always doing, entertaining, being there, you know. And that's what's nice. Like both of these kind of emphasize the young, like the young mind, young apprentice, the new, and they're two different approaches. One is like hammer away at it, do work like quickly, whatever, and the other is like, I'm okay going more slow. You know, slow down, because look at how you've rushed into the past over and over and repeated patterns over and over, and now you're like, hold up, you know. But what's also cool about this is, it is the justice card, you know. And at first I just saw it as sort of like, I kind of saw it as this wand